Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rita Borenstein and the theme of my channel is Passion for the Soul. Here I record videos about my work as Life Between Life facilitator here in Sweden since 10 years back. And I also interview guests. Some of my videos are in Swedish and some are in English. Today I'm going to talk about past life, which is something that some of you might have heard of and some of you not. It's based on a theory that we as souls live an eternal life and change bodies from time to time as we incarnate in a circumstance, in a personality, in a gender, in a time, just like a character in a screenplay. One could say that a life in an incarnation is like wearing clothes in a wardrobe, and during some time we wear a certain kind of clothes and have a certain style, and then it might change also during one life, that we go into different chapters of our lives as we mature. So when I do my Life Between Life sessions based on the work by Dr. Michael Newton, past life regression is included in the session because we then go to the death moment of a past life, and that is why it's different from a past life regression session, because in a past life regression session it is basically time spent in a past life to investigate and to figure out as many details as possible from that past life, and of course always what we learned from that past life and why that particular past life comes to the surface in the session for that particular client in that moment. So in a Life Between Life session, which is a kind of session I do based on the work by Dr. Michael Newton, I recorded a previous video about this kind of session, which you will find in a link below too, but it is this video before this one, and it's in English. So in a past life regression, we focus on a past life or maybe several past lives, which they probably have a theme or some kind of information which is healing or revealing for the client. What is the meaning and what is the cause for going into past life regression to start with? Well, it is some kind of meaning that we forget past lives. How would it be to remember maybe hundreds or thousands of past lives that we as a soul experienced? So it would be difficult and hard, I believe, to have them come to the surface all the time. But apparently, and especially nowadays, a lot of clients of mine, they have realized that healing a past life is just as important as healing some things in this present life. And before going into this kind of past life regression into more deeper way, I'd like to read the words by Pamela Cribbe, who is one of my greatest favorites. She channels Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, and also Earth. She is one of the most sincere channelers I've ever come across, except Jane Roberts, who is dead since long, but she channeled an entity called Set. and she wrote many, many books together with her husband, and also Pamela Kribbe, who is located in the Netherlands. She also works together with her husband, Garrett Jarrett, and I have bought all their books, and I read them many, 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 many times, especially this one that I'm going to read today, from a short passage about past life healing. And it looks like this. It's the Jeshua Channelings. I warmly recommend it. Then I love all her books, but the Heart-Centered Living book is wonderful. And they also have a website named yeshua.net, and they have audios and all sorts of information, really super, super interesting for you who might consider yourself as a light worker, as they call these kind of souls who are interested in getting in touch with their soul and soul memory in past life and other ways. They continually have a newsletter which you can also subscribe, and then you will have newsletters, and they release new audios every month with super interesting topics, I believe. So this is one of my favorite, as I said, Pamela Kribbe, and her husband as well, who is a skilled regressionist, and I don't know if he does sessions these days, but truly a wonderful couple, I believe. So I will just read shortly from page 83. It's in a chapter called it's about From Ego to Heart. This is part 2, in Exploring Your Inner Wounds, it's called, and it's a super interesting chapter, but I have just chosen a short part because you can order, of course, this book yourself from Amazon or where it can be bought from their web page too, I believe. Okay, so this is about From Ego to Heart. When this moment arrives, when you come to this stage 2, which is, they call it, they call stage 1 the beginning of the end, and this stage 2 is the middle of the end. And then comes stage 3, which is the end of the end. And the stage 4 is the awakening of a heart-based consciousness within you, motivated by love and freedom, helping others making the transitions. Right, so in case you get super curious, please order their book, the Jeshua Channelings. When this moment arrives, it is a great blessing for the soul. You are now able to heal yourself. You will fall back into self-judgment from time to time, but you now have a conscious memory of how love feels. And as soon as you have that, you will return to find it anew, for you have tasted the sweet perfume of home again. Isn't that wonderful? I am so moved. In the second stage of the transition from ego to heart, you get into closer contact with yourself. You are taking a closer look at your baggage from the past. You are relieving painful memories again. Memories from this life, perhaps memories of past life. The psychological baggage you carry from all lifetimes up to the present makes up your current identity. You may look upon this baggage as a suitcase full of clothes. You have played many roles in the past, assumed many identities, just like pieces of garment. You so strongly believed in some roles that you come to look upon them as part of your identity. This is me, you think, of such roles or clothes. When you truly investigate what these roles have to do with you, however, you will find out that you are not them. You are not the psychological roles or identities you assume. You are not your clothes. You have used these roles from a soul-felt need for experience. The soul takes delight in all experiences because they are part of the learning process the soul committed itself to. All experiences are helpful and valuable in this respect. When you take a closer look at your own roles and identities, you soon notice there have been painful, even traumatic experiences in your past, which still stick to you. You seem unable to let go of them. They have become like a second skin instead of mere garment. Those are the difficult elements in your past, the pieces that now keep you from truly living and enjoying life. You have identified so much with these parts that you think you are them. Because of this, you feel that you are a victim, and you draw negative conclusions from this about your life. But these conclusions do not hold for life as such. They just hold for the traumatized parts in your soul consciousness. It is these parts that need healing now. You do so by entering the past again, but with a consciousness that is more loving and wise than you ever had before. In the second stage of the transformation process from ego to heart, you heal episodes from the past by encircling them with your present consciousness. Through re-experiencing them in the past from a heart-centered focus, you will let go of the traumatic parts in your past. Trauma occurs when you experience a great loss or pain or evil, and you cannot understand why it happens. You have all experienced trauma in many of your lives. In fact, the soul's consciousness during the ego stage is traumatized from the outset. There is the loss of oneness or home that it remembers and does not understand. When you go back to the original traumatic event through imagination and you encircle it with the consciousness of the heart, you are changing your original response to the event. You change it from horror and disbelief to simply taking note of what happens. In the regression, you simply take note of what happened, and this very act creates room for understanding, room for a spiritual understanding of what actually took place in this event. When this room is present, you are becoming master of your reality again. You are now able to come to an acceptance of the whole episode, since you understand from the heart that there is meaning and purpose to everything that happens. You can sense from the heart that there is an element of free choice present in everything that occurs. And so you grow towards an acceptance of your own responsibility for the event. When you accept your own responsibility, you are free to move on. Isn't that great? Lovely written and said, dear Yeshua and Pamela. It is only when you relate to your own past identities as actors that actors do their roles, that you are free to go wherever you want. You are then free to enter heart-based consciousness. You no longer hold on to any aspect of what you have been in the past. Victim or aggressor, male or female, black or white, poor or rich, etc. When you can be playful about the aspects of duality and simply use them whenever it brings you joy and creativity, you have grasped the meaning of life on earth. You will experience great happiness and a sort of homecoming. This is because you are getting in touch with the consciousness underlying your different roles and identities. You touch base with your own divine consciousness again, the realization that everything is one, in short, the reality of love. We will close this chapter by giving you 2 meditations which may help you get in touch with the stream of oneness, the stream of divine consciousness that is the undercurrent of all your experience. And this we won't do because that is part of what Pamela and Gerrit own, I believe. You can access their information through them. So this is why I go now again back to past life regressions. And I believe through my reading from this book, you might get a sense of why it would be a good idea to heal also post-traumatic stress in past life. And this is why it's so wonderful that it's you can do this kind of session separately, of course, and also as part of life between life regression, when you also move on to death moment in the past life and then move further on into soul home to taste the sweetness of soul home again, and then ask many more questions from your soul through me as a life between life facilitator or someone else who is skilled in the method to help you access these kind of memories and to release traumas and to go from ego-based consciousness to heart-centered consciousness living, and also being in your physical reality and with full responsibility also for your life this time as a person you are. So this is my message for today, and I will continue to record another video about regression to childhood and to the time in the mother's womb. And this is also certain kind of regressions I do with people, but you can also do them as part of a life between life regression. But it's very interesting to spend also many hours focusing only on past life or childhood memories or the time in the mother's womb. And a life between life regression is a kind of an all-inclusive, including going from childhood to the time in the mother's womb, and also then to past life, and then go into home, soul home after a death in moment in the past life. So thank you for listening, and it makes me really happy if you give me comments or some likes, or maybe comments to me personally on my email, which I will include below this video, and also some information from my website. And on my website, you can also click on English British flag or German flag, and then my website will be translated into a few other languages. So thank you for listening, and bye-bye for now.